Hey, it's Willie Armelini from Flowers and Scents with your industry buzz. Today we're going to interview Beth O'Reilly. Beth O'Reilly is a floral designer from Houston, Texas, who's known for over-the-top floral events. And we're interviewing her today because HBO Max has a new show called Full Bloom, which is a floral competition. And Beth has been selected as one of the contestants, and we're going to find out what it's all about. So without further ado, Beth O'Reilly. There we go. Okay, so Beth O'Reilly, how are you today?
Good. How are you, Willie?
I'm fine. It's a little chilly here in Central Florida. I don't know what it is in Texas, but it's cold here actually.
We just got our first little chill. So yeah, it's coat weather outside here in Texas. But in
Yeah.
Texas, that doesn't last very long. We can
No,
have
well,
shorts on by the afternoon.
and indeed here it'll be up to well, actually today is supposed to stay fairly cool, but normally, you get up and it's 60 here, and then by the time the day's done, it's 85 or something. So it's typical Florida weather. So Beth, you are a designer and a florist, I guess. You don't have a shop, I don't believe, do you?
No, I used to. I've kind of done a little bit of everything in the floral industry. I had a wedding and event shop that I partnered with in Austin for many years. I did product development in China overseas. So I actually would go to China and stay there for quite a while and develop silk flower stems for an American-owned factory that we sold to big box stores like Costco and Sam's and Walmart and Pier 1 and those types of things. And then I had my little kid and I didn't want to travel like that anymore. So I did a lot of freelancing when we lived in Los Angeles, worked for some very big event companies there, doing huge events at the Beverly Wilshire every weekend. And then I started dabbling in the wholesale logistics side and did that for about 5 years. And now I'm kind of coming back to my roots of the floral artist, which I have a sculpture degree. I went to school for fine art and sculpture, and flowers have always been my medium of choice. So kind of just coming back to that whole full circle evolution of the floral artist.
And the floral logistics, you mentioned that. That's warm to my heart, of course. Logistics are sort of my basis here. So what did you do in logistics, or is that what led you to Comet, perhaps?
Yeah, so I managed and opened up a new facility for Mash in Houston.
Okay.
And then I went over to Greenleaf. So I've done everything from being a buyer, a sales rep, all of those things, and then visiting farms and understanding really what the supply chain is. I think, that's one gift that I've been given from my experience in wholesale is, and I'm friends with a lot of florists, and they're all very curious, and a lot of them really don't know what all happens on the logistics side of things. So for me, that's something that I love to teach people about.
Very interesting. Yeah, the logistics side is quite complex and interesting. I got an email the other day from a person who says, I was born in Quito and I moved to Texas, and now that I see that they've dropped the duty from Ecuador, maybe I should start importing flowers. I'll just bring them here and sell them to the local people. And I'm like, it's not that simple.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, and I think that that's one thing a lot of people really just don't understand. So I kind of remember my first Valentine's Day in wholesale and really coming to the realization in my head that yeah, we can plan as much as we can for these roses to come in on this exact day and have exactly what we ordered, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. So
Yeah, you need a lot of plan B and C in this industry.
that's right.
So you contacted me because you have been selected for this Full Bloom series they're having on HBO Max. And
Yeah.
while I don't know a whole lot about that, I did watch the trailer here, and I'm not a big TV fan of myself, watching TV, but lately I've been watching more than I care to. And I see these shows. I guess this one's based on like the cooking shows that they do over there.
Yeah, it's a competition show. And they chose 10 florists throughout the United States. And I get to be one of them, which is really exciting for me. But I think it's a great, I would encourage you to watch the series. We have our last 2 episodes dropping on Thursday. So you could actually binge watch it. Come Thursday, you could binge watch the whole series. There's 8 episodes. But we
Okay.
have florists from all walks of life and all different skill levels. And I really think that, and I've watched friends of mine who are not florists, watch the show and really get into it. And I think it's a great lesson for people on flowers and just the joy that flowers bring, and that flowers are for everyone. And that, even a novice can make a beautiful flower arrangement and have it enhance their lives. So that's one of the messages I really am finding from the show. But yeah, it was a great experience. We had 3 judges, 10 contestants. We went through a whole audition, all of that process, and found ourselves filming during COVID.
Oh, yippee. I see that you weren't in the trailer, though. Did I see you in the trailer or not? Or is this the
Yeah,
first
I'm
season?
in the trailer.
You are? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first season, or is the first season?
It's the first season, and they just announced last week season 2 auditions. So anybody listening who would like to try their hand at being a contestant, you just contact Mystic Arts. You can follow them on Instagram, and they have a whole application process. So for me, it was a fairly quick process. They had a casting call. It was kind of, Florist Review magazine, and everybody was like regramming it. And so a lot of us knew about it. But I got a phone call within a couple of hours of sending in my application. So for me, it was kind of fast and furious. But then there was a lot of waiting in between, because that whole process started a year ago in November.
Where's it filmed at?
So it was filmed at the Hummingbird Ranch, which is in Simi Valley. It's one of the Southern California premier TV film locations, but it's also a wedding venue. And when I lived in Los Angeles, I actually did weddings there. So it was kind of, for me, like, wow, this is kind of cool to be at a place where I really actually did big flower events.
Huh. All right. So and you're not going to tell us who won, because that's still a mystery at the moment, I guess.
Right, but I can say I'm in there, so.
You're in there. And my first instinct when looking at the trailer is like, okay, all right, where are these flowers coming from? Who's donating flowers? How are they getting their flowers?
So we had a huge team of floral people that were in charge of that, and there was one person in particular, and it's somebody who owns a shop. I can't remember the name of the shop. If you look in the credits, you'll see her name. But she did a lot of the ordering and procurement. I know we had lots of stuff from Milano. We had things from Passion. There was a garden rose challenge where we had some garden roses, and I can't remember the name of the farm. It was a farm that I hadn't heard of before. So there were things coming from some of the bigger floral companies, but I also know that they would go down to the market in the mornings and kind of fill in with what we needed.
My guess is it would be Alexandra Farms would be the where the
No, it was a
roses.
local California grower.
Oh, okay.
That I had not heard of. It
yeah,
wasn't,
probably Green Valley. Green Valley grows those.
It wasn't. It was something
wasn't that
different. It
either.
started with a T, and I'm sorry, I can't remember. If I look back through maybe some of the episodes and find it, I will tell you. All
right. So then, one of the questions that comes up watching these shows, sometimes these contestant shows, is how much they seem to like. It's like The Bachelor. They create all these dramas. Was it the real thing?
So, flowers don't necessarily lend themselves to like negative drama. I don't think so. So, and the producers really didn't either. There is some drama, but it's not, it's enough to keep you on the edge of your seat and wanting to keep watching, but there's not really, like clashes. We're all florists and we loved each other. Everyone on the cast really got along really well. We shared flowers with each other. I mean, we cried with each other and hugged each other when contestants were leaving. So it really wasn't that kind of show, and I'm super grateful for it.
Good. And what do they do in the end? They when they have all these flowers and arrangements, do they donate them somewhere or something?
Yeah, at the end of every episode, there's a charity that they take them to. So they actually had in the production team a whole crew of people that were in charge of they called it flower drops. So they would donate it. Our first episode that we do, which I can tell you about because it's already aired, we do a 30-foot reproduction of a Van Gogh painting out of flowers. It was enormous and immense. I mean, I just get kind of chills talking about it. It was one of my most favorite things ever that I'll ever make. And there was a mass amount of flowers left over. And what they did was recreate those on a smaller scale for Cedars-Sinai, for the medical professionals to enjoy. So there's lots of, after every episode, they do a different drop to a different kind of charity or organization.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. I'm really actually excited about this concept because, look, we as a florist, people in the floral industry, we want to get our product in front of people's faces. And
absolutely,
what a cool way to do it. You know, you have a lot of talent, a lot of flowers, a beautiful venue, and a lot of room for creativity. I sort of love it because that's what our industry is all about.
It's really good for the industry, and the judges give tips and tricks to people about, how to keep your flowers hydrated. We do a supermarket challenge where we're challenged to create something really high end out of grocery store bouquets. And, I think people can relate to all those kind of things. So for me, definitely having people, just your normal average person, really realize how wonderful flowers are and how much they need them in their life. That to me is the kicker.
I think this has proven it. This COVID thing has proven it in many ways, because the business in general is actually doing okay, because people want product in their house. They want life in their house. They want something colorful.
And they want to beautify their space and enhance their lives. And really, there's nothing that enhances any moment more than flowers do. It doesn't matter if it's, a funeral, a wedding, a birthday celebration, or just because when there's flowers around, you take notice of it, and it definitely enhances that moment.
Yes, and we're living through that, and I'm hoping that we can get out again of our Zoom meetings here. Although I like these Zoom meetings because otherwise we wouldn't have this opportunity for you and I to perhaps have this conversation so easily, and let the people know. So season 2 is coming. When we'll release the season 1, we'll be able to start watching it as of Thursday, you said?
They've already released 6 episodes for season 1, and we have our final 2 episodes airing on this Thursday. So we have 7 and 8 airing, and you can binge watch the whole thing basically after Thursday. And I don't know what the timeline is for season 2. They're just in the casting process, so I imagine it will be several months before we would see something for season 2.
So they'll bring in 10 new designers and start all over again. The judges remain the same?
I believe so. Yeah, they're quite the characters. So I know a lot of the show revolves around them. We have Maurice Harris, and he's a Bloom and Plume. And we have Elizabeth Cronin, and she owns a shop in Chicago called Azria's Garden. I hope I didn't mispronounce that. And then we have, of course, Simon Lysett, who is the British floral designer to the royalty over yeah. So it was really fun to work with them. They all have their own different aesthetic. And I know all of us learned a ton just from their critiques and having, experience working with them. Well,
I look forward to watching it, and I look forward to, this reawakening of flowers, and I hope everybody will watch it, and I hope you won, but I don't know the answer to that yet. So I wish, in retrospect, I have to watch it and find out. So hey, look, thank you for your time. I will edit this and get it out, and the people should be interested. So thank you for your time, and you have a great day.
Thank you, Willie. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Bye now.
All right.